Welcome to On the Trail. I'm Steve Evans. Today's episode is going to be relatively simple. I'm going to show you how to make a Cuben fiber stuff sack, except we're not going to sew it, we're going to bond it using some of the tape that I have here. First thing you need to do is pick up some materials in order to make this thing. Tools and material is going to be a ruler. This is 1/2 inch C3 spinnaker tape. You can use this tape, you can use 3M 9485 PC tape, Venture 1163 tape. You could even use the high sol liquid adhesive that I showed you in one of my previous episodes, or anything that will bond Cuben fiber. You also need an X-Acto knife, marker for measuring and marking, a small tiny cord lock for the cinch cord, a 3/16 eyelet, your Cuben fiber, and if you want to make it a little bit more professional looking, you can get a tool like this, which is to insert your eyelet. It will give you a professional look, and a hot knife or soldering iron to just put a hole for the eyelet. In my case, I want it 8 inches wide and 13 inches long. So I need to find out the rectangle that I'm going to cut. In order to figure out your width, you're going to take your width up here that you want, 8, multiply it by 2, and then add 1/2 inch for a seam allowance. So 16.5 across the top. For the length, we're going to take our desired length, which is 13 inches. We're going to add 1.5 inches for the top. This is going to give you the drawstring channel and the 1/2 inch seam allowance, plus a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the bottom, which is going to give you 15 inches. So your total rectangle you're going to want to cut is 16.5 by 15. Once you figure out the size you want, measure it out on your Cuben fiber using your marker. Mark the sizes and use your X-Acto knife to cut it. Get your rectangle cut out. Go ahead and put it to the side. Don't put your marker and ruler away just yet, because what you need to do is you need to cut a 1-inch strip of Cuben fiber that you're going to use for the draw cord. And since mine is 16.5 inches wide, and with the 1/2 inch overlap I'm going to have a 16-inch circumference, I want to cut about 18 to 20 inches long, 1 inch wide. You're going to take your tape, whichever it is, and you're going to tape along the top and down one side, very slowly. See, and making. Do the top first. Be sure to leave a 1/2 inch gap, because you need to bond this seam first, and if you put the top tape down on top of the side tape, then it becomes an issue. So, now remember closely to the corner here. This is the top, and this is the side seam. The side seam goes to the top and bottom. The top seam leaves a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Carefully how I've done this. I've got the tape facing up, and I've measured it out, so once I peel the tape, I just have to fold this over. And the weight here is just to keep it from moving. Take the edge of the tape and peel it all the way off. Make sure that that is sitting nice and flat. Take your untaped edge and fold over. Don't worry about wrinkles at this point, because we can trim. And for those of you that went the extra mile and got your soldering iron and your hot knife, go ahead and heat that up now, because what we're going to do is we're going to put an eyelet right to where the first seam was. And the reason why we're going to do it on the seam is because it's doubled up there, so it's going to be a little bit stronger. And the eyelet is going to allow the drawstring or draw cord to run in and out without abrading the Cuben fiber. Take your soldering iron. you've got the machine that I've got here, go ahead and install your eyelet with your small rubber washer on top of it. That's going to give you something that looks like that. Next on the list is to do the draw cord channel. And we're going to do that by folding down the top. This should be roughly 1/2 inch for the tape and 1/2 inch for the draw cord channel. So go ahead and adjust that. Secret part. The tape is on the inside here. Pull this nice and tight and keep it folded and pull off the backing. And as you pull it, start bonding it. All the way around. As you come to the end, flatten it out the other way, continue. Alright, give it a good press, and now we want to do the bottom. For those of you that have seen the stuff tube I have in my R&D section, you're going to want to repeat the same process you did on the top for the bottom. But for those of you that just want a stuff sack, it's going to be quite easy. First of all, fold it so that the seam runs roughly down the center. I think that it looks nicer this way, and it's better than having it run all the way around the edges. You're going to grab your X-Acto knife again, and you're going to cut each fold here up 1/2 inch. Alright. Split, fold the 1/2 inch back and just cut one side off because you've cut the edges. Place a 1/2 inch bond along the bottom. This one can be a little bit easier to do, so let's make sure that's pushed down nice and tight. And what you're going to want to do, again, is pull the backing off to reveal the adhesive. Make sure it's nice and flat, and fold this over onto the tape. With the tape on each side of your Cuben draw cord, just remove the backing again. Don't worry about the center, because the center really makes no difference. Fold in the edges and just kind of give it a shoelace effect, like so. So take your end piece, feed it through, and start pulling it around. Once you get all the way around, pull the side out. Make sure you don't lose it in there, because it can be a little bit of a pain. You're going to take your mini draw cord. Don't put it too tight. You want to be able to open up your bag all the way. And then simply tie a knot in the end. This particular one, which is 8 by 13, weighs 5 grams, which isn't bad. The technique that I use is just based on my experience, not necessarily the right way to do it. If you have a better way to do it, feel free to show me, and I'd really be interested in it. Thanks for watching. I'm Steve Evans, and I'll see you on the trail.